Hey, uh, what are you listening to?
I'm just listening to Inside Star Trek, the real story by Herbert Solow and what's his name, Robert Justman, the thing you sent me from YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
hmm. So, what's with all the dancing?
Star Trek just makes me feel funky.
Well, hey, aren't we supposed to talk about San Diego Comic-Con?
I've no idea what time Star Trek is on.
From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Cassell.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield with Keith.
And Gerry.
And wow, this last weekend was nuts. It was not only the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, it was the 50th anniversary of Comic-Con.
Freaking amazing.
And I personally just want to point out that I've never seen as much information come out of San Diego Comic-Con as we saw this weekend.
I know.
It was crazy.
You know what, though? The amazing thing is that this is minus any participation from Warner Brothers and DC, minus, I should say, what they were able to put together for the CW on Sunday. Because all of that is its own universe in and of itself. But there was no major presentation from really the DCEU and anything,
which is really weird.
Yeah, and anything really beyond that.
Because I understand why Marvel might have had a limited one, or Star Wars, because they're waiting for D23.
Yeah, D23, you're going to have
what
a lot
is
more
DC waiting for? You know, it's like, this has been a weird year for DC.
Yeah,
and a weird year.
You've got a lot of really big things coming up. You got Wonder Woman 1984 coming up, and it'll be out, I think, before next year's Comic-Con. So what are you waiting for? You know, again, this has been a really weird year for them. Not necessarily a bad one, but not the best.
It's not been bad. It's just been weird because just right off the top is Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
You know, Swamp Thing is just one of the best things going right now. It's the best horror TV show I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
And canceled right after episode 1. And they're still promoting the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're promoting the hell out of something you canceled. I really am confounded by the behavior of... And then, of course, what we talked about last episode was Warner Brothers making its deal and announcing that its Warner Archives special channel is going to be called HBO Max.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, hey, look at it this way. At least Young Justice is getting another season, and they're going to go ahead and give another season to both Titans and Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
So, you know, good things will come out of this. But, ooh. Wow.
These are strange days indeed, my friend. Strange days indeed. So, but anyway, a lot of stuff, like I said, came out of this last week. And Saturday, unbelievable. It was like I almost was getting shell shocked.
Yeah.
From all the stuff coming out. I was like, I had to back up and go, I need a breath here because I don't know if I can consume much more than this. And then, of course, I did. So,
well, you're a true fan. So, you know.
There you have it. And so, but anyway, what are some of your points you think were big about this show?
Well, this year's show had a lot of really good stuff for comic book fans. Overall, if you were outside of a lot of the media and Hollywood stuff, there was a lot of stuff going on in relationship to comics. You had people like Billy Tucci, who got an Inkpot Award this year, which was really cool. He's very talented and really well-deserved. But you also had a lot of artists and writers have from various companies, lots of meetups. It felt more like the comic convention that it started out as years ago than just this huge Hollywood funded or Hollywood weighted event. But the comic book stuff had a lot more of a presence than it has in previous years and was making itself known. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing to do that. Again, with a lot of mom and pop comic book shops pretty much on the endangered list, those that haven't closed seem like they're on their final legs. So again, support your local comic shops, support your local dealers, support your local fans. Well, we need places to go.
Yeah, we're nerds.
Nerd daycare. That's what the mom and pop shops.
Hey guys, this is of course the segment called the Zeitgeist, created by our co-producer, Craig. Hi Craig. So we're going to talk about today is, number one, we're going to talk about what they did with Star Trek, because it was huge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Star Trek stuff.
And for certain people, that number one is really number two, but hey.
Number two. And so we're going to make it so and talk about Star Trek Picard.
Yes. They unveiled the cast of Star Trek Picard, along with Michael Chabon and a few of the other people that are participating in the creative direction of the show, including Mr. Alex Kurtzman, who just basically sat there waiting for everyone else to catch up.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, a lot like Kathleen Kennedy, who got promoted upward and away from the show.
Yeah.
And of course, even though we're still concerned, because we're gun shy. We're gun shy after 2 years of sucky Star Trek. We're gun shy.
Yeah.
But the fact is once that trailer dropped, our hopes went up again. They better not dash them.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. The backlash from making us hope again is going to be a huge mistake on their part.
Look, given Patrick Stewart's age at this point, I'm not expecting him to be anything like what he was during the original Star Trek The Next Generation series. What I am expecting is some good, solid writing. And you really don't need to have too many action scenes or whatever. Good writing is good writing. Because whatever else you add to it, the good writing will always carry you through.
Exactly. And in this situation, even though the series itself is based off of something written by Alex Kurtzman, the comic for IDW, and to be honest with you, it was the prequel to Star Trek, the 2009 movie.
Yes.
And it explained how Picard, on a ship under the command of Data, were helping Spock save the Romulans with the red ooze, or whatever the heck they call it.
Yeah, the red matter. And basically, that was the story that led to what happened with Spock and the Narada going back in time and created the pocket universe, separate universe that created
Kelvin.
Basically it created the Kelvin universe. So basically, the Star Trek universe they started out in is actually an alternative to the original real universe, because that's what the Prime is.
Even though they talked about it in Star Trek that they don't have the multiverse ideas where it can splinter. It's just simply, if a multiverse exists, it exists autonomous to the other universe. Mm-hmm. So it goes against Star Trek lore to do what they did.
Having the 2009 Star Trek automatically goes against Star Trek lore.
Yeah.
So to put another one on top of that, just, But that's basically the version of Picard and crew that we're actually getting for this new series. Yep. So it's not the Picard and crew that you last saw in their last Star Trek film, which was 2002.
Yeah. And the other part of Star Trek that dropped was that Kurtzman announced that there are going to be some more Trek shorts.
Yeah.
And 3 of them apparently are going to be Pike and Spock centric.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so I'm in for that because that was the best part of the Discovery season 2 was those characters. And the third thing that dropped was
they decided to put out some information and try to get people excited about Star Trek Lower Decks.
Lowered expectations.
Seriously, you'd be better off going to YouTube and checking out the series from which one could say that they borrowed a lot of the ideas for Lower Decks from, called Starship Regulars. And it's actually from a former Conan writer.
And it has Michael Dorn in it.
Yeah, he's one of the voices to that animated series. It's pretty much the same thing, except that it's already been done.
And it's really funny.
And it's not behind a paywall. So you can go to YouTube right now.
Watch it for free.
And watch it for free.
Yay! And that pretty much wraps up the Zeitgeist. And that's the end of that. And now, we'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back, and just in time for a new segment from Nerdsday with Susan.
Welcome to another Nerdsday with Susan Layton.
Hey, it's Nerdsday. I'm Susan Layton, and let's get right into it. I'm going to talk first about Evil Dead. Yes, I know, everybody's probably thinking, oh my God, Susan, when can you stop talking about Evil Dead? Well, I do want to be able to stop talking about it, and this is why I'm talking about it. Sam Raimi, last week, as you all know, came out in a publication in an exclusive interview and said that he, Rob Tappert, and Bruce Campbell were working on Evil Dead ideas. Now, we already knew about this because when I talked to Bruce, he really got down in the weeds with it and said, yeah, they were taking pitches, they had viable notions flying around, and it was going to happen. And he told me he wants to come back in a production capacity. He'll be very much involved with casting, just like he was with Fetty's version and Jane Levy. So I thought, well, that's a great idea. So Sam, mentions in passing, yeah, I'd like for Bruce to come back, but if he doesn't, here's some ideas. So they have an idea for if Bruce does come back, an idea if they can get Fetty and Jane, and a third option, which Sam didn't get into. But here's the thing. Everybody seems to think that because Sam and Bruce are friends, that somehow Bruce is going to go, yep, I'm going to do this. They're going to back the truck up, and he's going to be right there going, yep, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I know what I said. I changed my mind. Well, he said he's not a money whore, and I'd like to believe that. And furthermore, okay, let's have him come back. But not in the way that the fans want. Let's have him do a cameo. Because this is the way this is going to be able to continue. We need to kill Ash. I know, probably everybody said, did she just say kill Ash? Yeah, I did. It's time. We need to let this character go. Bruce has done his service. He's been Ash for 40 years. He had fun with it. They brought it back with Ash vs. Evil Dead. But nobody watched it. That's a whole other podcast. But yet, we're going to do a movie in the hopes that people will come and see it when they wouldn't watch it in the comfort of their homes. But anyway, let's have him come back. Let's have him do a cameo. And this is how we pass the torch. In my mind, Ash and Sheila, we know they got kind of intimate there. Why not have a grandson or someone from that lineage come back? Because who's to say that Sheila wasn't left with a child and that lineage continued? We know Brandy's out there. We could even bring Ariel back. But why not do that? Why not have Ash, his offspring, try to confront the Deadites again. Because we all know, yeah, Kandar was vanquished, but somehow or other, something's going to happen. Maybe this time one of the kids does it by accident. Who knows? I mean, look at Ghostbusters 2020. We're bringing kids into it. Why not bring name-recognized actors? Now, as much as I would love to have a Ryan Reynolds in it, that's not going to happen. But get some people with name recognition. And if you want to skew younger, like teenagers, there's plenty of people out there that now, thanks to things like Stranger Things and we can have that. Or go with younger people in their 20s, their 30s, what have you. You could even go into their 40s, since now Bruce is over 60. But the idea is have him pass the torch and have him do it in an Ash way. Bruce wants to inject more humor into the franchise. I can't say I blame him. We did one serious one. Now let's try something fun in the vein of AOD or Evil Dead 2. So we have that scenario. We have some humor. Let's have him die in the Ashest way possible. Something crazy, like he's getting ready to fight with his chainsaw. He pulls his back out. He's not able to recover. He gets killed by Deadites. But then have it be touching, and Sam Raimi can do that because he's a storyteller. And then the torch is passed. Sure, that's not going to stop those people from going, oh my God, but no. Bruce Campbell, we want him in a walker. We want him coming back when he can't walk anymore, or when he has to have a back brace, because God darn it, we need Ash. It's time to let it go. So Sam, as much as I don't want this to happen, as much as I'd like Bruce to do what he wants to do and not reprise this character, it's going to happen. So let's kill him off. The second thing I'd like to see Raimi do is, I really wish we wouldn't go back to Evil Dead. I really wish we wouldn't. But the current business models show that it's hot to return to franchises. So that's what they're going to do. I mean, after all, we've got Grudge in development with Ghost House. So it stands to reason that Evil Dead would be next in the toolkit. And I get that. But you know what? Sam's looking for a project to direct. Remember A Simple Plan? Remember how brilliant that was? Character-driven. The wonderful Bill Paxton, R.I.P. Billy Bob Thornton. Bridget Fonda. Remember that? I'd love to see Sam do a small, intimate film again. You know why? Because he's a storyteller. We don't have that anymore. Now, he even told a story with Spider-Man. He even told stories with Oz the Great and Powerful. I mean, that's what he does. He crafts stories. Hollywood desperately needs that. I would love to see Sam return to that type of film. I know he has ideas. He's just looking for the right script. Or if somebody has that type of idea, give it to him. But better yet, bring Bruce with you. It's time. Let's see Bruce Campbell do something else. Let's see him with you again, with your vision, because you know it's a partnership that works. And that big guy that you have in all your movies, he's pretty darn smart, and I know you know this, and he's got scripts out there. He has things that he wants to do. He has comedies, he has drama. You guys could even do a farce. Go back to your Super 8 roots. Do something funny. Do a farce. Or better yet, since The Quick and the Dead, you didn't have much time with that. Well, you did, but it wasn't what everybody had hoped. Bruce wants to do a Western, and he has ideas. Why don't you two get together in a room like 1980s and the 1970s and talk and bring both of your visions together? I know the fans will want to see that, because if they pair it, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi back together again, it's got potential. But what do I know? I just write for a living. But I'd love to see that happen. That's a wish list. I also wanted to talk about the Emmys. I watched the live stream so dull because once again, we know everybody that got picked. There was no surprises there. I'd love for once to be surprised. And I'm really bummed about Lodge 49 not making the cut. Yeah, I know, here we go. I can hear you. Bruce Campbell's in it. Okay, yeah, all right. That's a given. But let's talk about the story. AMC kills with stories. They know what they're doing. Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. They have a plethora of things that they do, and they do it well. Now here's Lodge 49. And if you guys haven't read Jim Gavin's marvelous book, The Middlemen, I encourage you to do so. He is a unique voice. And Paul Giamatti, who is actually the genius behind this series, what can we say about him? Talented character actor. I love him to pieces. When I hear Paul Giamatti is going to be in a film, that's when I go, this is quality. I've got to watch this. He's just marvelous. And I could go on and on about him. But the writing is stellar. The cast is people that you recognize, but maybe you were like, oh, wait a minute, Brett Jennings was on Modern Family. Or we remember Sonia Cassidy from the BBC, or we remember, we remember lots of those people, like the guy that played Wyndham Earl. Oh, dear Lord. His name is escaping me, and I'm so sorry. But he was in it. So you see these recognizable people now. Yeah, they're not like a Meryl Streep or a Reese Witherspoon. But Lodge 49's telling a very real story. It gets into dynamics of families and friends and what it means to be part of a community or an organization. They even touch on big business. They even get into the esoteric and magic even. And it's brilliant. Because you know these people. You know Dud. You know Liz. You know Ernie. You know Scott. You know these guys. And you feel when you go into the lodge like it's a place that you want to hang out and, maybe have a margarita or a beer or whatever your poison is. And that's because of the acting and the writing involved. But yet it was overlooked. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it because I have a love-hate relationship with Hollywood. It's too much of my world to walk away, but yet I fantasize about it because it's irritating nonetheless that something of that caliber gets overlooked. And yeah, I am going to talk about this while we're at it. Emmy snubs for Wyatt Russell. Dud. Amazing. So quiet, but yet so powerful, his performance. You feel for Doug. That speech that he did about, all that bullshit's outside, but when I come into the lodge, it doesn't exist. Tears. I had tears in my eyes because we all want that. We all want to feel like we're a part of something. And the dynamic between him and his sister Liz and Sonia Cassidy not getting a nod, Brent Jennings as Ernie, this sucks. This is bad. I don't get this. And Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Because Gary Green was possibly the best role that he's played in a long time. Better than Briscoe. Better than Sam Axe. Here was a guy that's complicated. Right in any actor's dream project. He's got a failing marriage. He's in with the mob. He's a lonely guy. He's, prone to doing crazy things like getting down with the goat people and taking shrooms and stuff. Yeah, he was an interesting character because he was flawed. And Bruce excels at flawed characters. He took this guy, and this guy was throughout the entire season. He was a presence. You heard Bruce's voice, and then you're like, oh, he's coming, and he didn't come till the end. But boy, was it worth it because there was that buildup. So Gary Green had to be larger than life. And who is larger than life? Bruce Campbell. And he came in such a way that who is going to do this at 60 years of age? Who is going to come onto a new show in swim trunks in a wading pool. Bruce Campbell, because he's fearless. Yeah, he's over 60, but we don't care. That was amazing. And talk about not death, but maiming and a way to go out. He had the most unusual character event ever. I'm not going to spoil it, but we'll just say it was interesting and had a little Evil Dead horror flair to it. Personally, I think they could bring him back in season 3. Maybe. Fingers crossed, because I'd love to see Gary Green again. But once again, snubbed. Because, I don't know, because he's not, Tom Cruise coming on to a show, or he's not, somebody of that caliber. And I'm not degrading what he does, because I think he's amazing. But the Academy, and that's all we can say about that. For as much as Hollywood wants originality, for as much as they're like, oh, we don't have any original story, they don't want them, because when they're right there, they don't pay attention. And it's frustrating as hell. But, every year, that's what happens. So check out the Emmy nominations. I've rambled on enough. Let us know what you think. Let us know. Do you want Evil Dead? Do you want to see this, or do you want to see something else from Sam and company? Let us know how you feel about the Emmys. If you dig what we're doing here, please like and subscribe. Hit that like button, smash it, whatever you need to do. But I'll see you guys next week on Nerdsday. Have a great weekend.
Thanks again there, Susan. That was a really good Nerdsday episode. Good segment talking about Ashley Williams. Your thoughts on it?
Very well done. Very clear what her point of view is. Me personally, I'm a big Ash fan, and I don't want to say goodbye to the character, but I totally get it. Sometimes it's like what Tony said. Part of the journey is the end. So
yeah, and I kind of agree with her. I kind of like the idea of Ash passing on that baton to somebody else, whether it's someone that's related to him or just simply the next warrior that has to take on the Evil Dead. And it'll be a good way for us to finally say goodbye to his character. So next is a new segment, which by itself, the pilot aired on Monday, and that is, of course, D.D. Crowley's Game Girl segment.
From her gothic lair, Game Girl host D.D. Crowley.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. My name is Dee and welcome to Game Girl. Today I want to talk to you about a game called Observer. Now we observe currently the passing of Rutger Hauer at age 75. Now he is best known for movies like Blade Runner, True Blood, Hobo with a Shotgun, but he's best known to me for a game called Observer. Observer was a 2017 release by the Poland-based Bluebird team and published by Asper. It released for PS4 and Xbox One and Windows in 2017, and then later on that year for Linux. And then in 2019, most recently this year in February, it released for the Switch. In this game, Rutger Hauer has the likeness and does the voice for a character called Detective Daniel Lazarski. He is a Dream Eater, which is a member of the Observer's police unit in Krakow in 2084. Technology has increased, but it doesn't mean it's improved. It's become quite scary, and corporations are behind it. Privacy is gone. People have chips implanted in them, and what Dream Eaters do is they are able to plug into that piece in the brain and relive memories and moments, which can come in handy for people, they're detectives, so if somebody is murdered, they're able to plug in and see what had gotten them to that moment. When he receives a call from his estranged son, Adam, you are to go to this locked down apartment complex and basically investigate what is going on. Why has Adam called you? Where is he? You have to talk to people. There's really not a lot of moving parts in this game. There's one guy and then voice actors that you talk to through doors. for the most part. Now, things get a little bit different a little bit later in the game, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. But for its simplicity, it is a terrifying psychological thriller. The fact that it is so psychological, that you get into people's minds, that you are walking through this dilapidated apartment building full of technology that is somehow futuristic and also aging. It's both retro and dystopian, which is something I have never seen before. And Bluebird Team is not any stranger to scary games. They have done Layers of Fear 1 and 2. They are in charge of the upcoming Blair Witch game that is coming out in a matter of weeks. But this one was just a lot different, and they set it in their home city. It is a beautiful game for all of its dilapidated buildings, its griminess, its dirtiness. It's beautiful, and what lends to that beauty is Rutger Hauer's narration. You don't see him because you are him. You don't see his face except for the basically the equivalent of the box art, but his voice lends this, it's so calming, and it almost sounds like he's right in your ear, because his voice is louder than the voices around you, so when he's talking you are listening, and he's right there, and so soft spoken, and he does the part so well. It was just, even though this isn't his only video game voice that he's done. He did, and I apologize for butchering this, as Master Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3. So that is the most recent video game voice that he's done. But even though he's done that, his moment with Observer is just absolutely beautiful. He helps to set up this hopelessness among the people that are living in this world, not only for himself but for the people around him, and it's beautiful. The gameplay can be complicated, it can be confusing. The mapping system is a little bit, doesn't really tell, there is really no mapping system at all. You kind of have to find your way by remembering where you're at. It doesn't hold your hand. You have to seek out clues. You have to be really intuitive and really look at everything. Not only that, in terms of gameplay, the sound mixing is just phenomenal. It's a mostly silent game with talking and sounds of the apartment, and just the dripping of the water, just the sounds of the technology, the groaning of the building itself. You don't know if it's the building or if there's something else there. You can go into a part of the building, and I recommend this with headphones. You can go into a part of the building in the basement, of course, because basements are awful. You can go into the basement and hear noises and be like, I'm not going in there. Even if there's nothing there, the way they set it up is stunning. So if you think that this sounds interesting, which I highly recommend this game. I love all Bluebird Team games. I have played every single one of them so far, and I just adore them. It is available for PS4, Xbox One, PC, Linux, and Nintendo Switch. So if you can get your hands on this, I highly recommend it. It's kind of, it can be your own little way of honoring the work of such a tremendous actor that we have lost. As an actor, it kind of seems even, I don't know, minimalistic. Just such a force that was lost in both, Hollywood and life and in video game. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. I will see you guys next week on the next Game Girl. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Dee Dee. That was a really good segment. Great talking about this weekend. What a wonderful weekend Comic-Con was. Yeah. I'm glad we did this segment. I know we went a little long, but you know what? It's worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe, click the bell to get updates, and we hope you did enjoy it. And until next time,
that's Gary.
And that's Keith. This is Pop Culture Minefield. It's time to roll the credits.